Well, good day, guys. I am your instructor for international trade law. My name is Waleed Ali. So basically, we're talking about if you're trying to do business, trying to do trade from country to country, there's some law that you have to follow. So basically, this is what this course is about: international trade law. Okay. So what is international law? Countries make laws that apply to their people and on their territory. These are called domestic laws. It may be quite different from one country to another. Okay, so countries make laws for businesses to do business within their own country. These are domestic laws. But then there's also international laws. It applies to different countries and to international organizations. Okay, between citizens of different countries. That's private international law. So if you're doing country to country, if you're doing organizations within the country. So let's say like a company in India does business with a company in Canada. That's called public international law. And if two people are doing it, that's private international law. Globalization and advances in technology have made international law very important. Public international law. Public international law deals mostly with the rights and responsibilities that countries have toward each other. Public international law also applies to international organizations such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. Okay. Public international law sets the rules for issues that concern all humankind, the environment, the oceans, human rights, international business, etc. For example, the International Criminal Court investigates and hears cases of people accused of war crimes or crimes against humanity. This court applies international criminal law. Um, So the rules are found in treaties, conventions, declarations, agreements, customs, and other sources. Kyoto Protocol is an international agreement on climate change. In this protocol, many countries have agreed to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions in order to protect the environment. Okay? So the public, companies, the public organizations within countries that work together in order to create laws for to create a better life, right? These are usually run by the United Nations and the World Trade Organization, and so that's basically public international law. So what's the difference between public and private? So private law deals with the relationship between citizens of different countries. Okay, so for example, an American man and a French woman were married in France and now live in Quebec. Okay, American man and a French woman were married in France and now live in Quebec. If they want to divorce, the rules of a private international law will determine whether they must go to a U.S., French, or Quebec court to get their divorce. Okay, guys, so it's between people. Private international law also applies to business, right? So globalization and the internet mean that companies are doing more business in other countries. For example, if you run into a problem when buying or selling something online from an American company and you don't want to sue, the rules of private international law will apply. Okay, so basically, when I was trading commodities, I was trading between the I was in Quebec and I was working on commodities, selling commodities all over the world. So Morocco, Egypt, Texas, Argentina, Brazil, all those places. So basically, what you're doing is um, you have to follow a set guideline. They have set guidelines in the commodities industry and the soy and canola bean industry that you have to follow. And if something goes wrong, everyone just reverts back to the rules. You got to read the rules. Okay, these are the rules, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then you figure out who's in the wrong. And if still the other company doesn't want to pay or anything, that's when you can go legally and say, we did our end. We did exactly what we needed to do. This company's not paying us for this reason. And then that's how the companies make their money. Sources of international law, treaties. A treaty is a formal and binding written agreement entered by countries and organizations. A treaty is like, for example, NAFTA. NAFTA is North American Free Trade Agreement. Okay, that's a treaty. So basically, Canada, U.S., and Mexico can trade with each other without any paying any tariffs. Okay. Customs. So customary international law. is an aspect of international law involving the principle of custom that may have been followed by countries for a long time. So basically stuff that's just customary stuff, right? You know how you have your culture, and culture is stuff that's passed down from generations. Customs are also the same. General principle of law are basic rules whose content is very general, abstract. Judicial decisions, basically, it's you can come to an agreement by going through a judicial system, right? So going to see a judge and trying to dispute the facts. So those are different sources of international law. Subjects of international law. Subject of international law is an entity possessing international rights and obligations and having the capacity to maintain its rights by bringing international claims, to be responsible for its breaches of obligations by being subjected to such claims. Okay, so subjects of international law. So in this situation, when they mean subjects, they mean people or organizations or entities. Okay, that's when they say subjects. So if you're a subject of something, you are like an entity or a part of something. So subject of international law is an entity possessing international rights and obligations and having the capacity. Okay, so basically what this is saying is, so you're a part of you're part of international law if you are doing business overseas or are a company that's doing business overseas. So if you're, or not overseas, but between different countries. So if you're doing business outside of your country, so anyone who is able to claim the rights or the rights can be used against them, that's the person of that's the subject of international law. What are some major branches of international law? International humanitarian law, refugee law, criminal law, human rights law. Okay, you guys read this on your own, understand it by yourself. Humanitarian law is the law of armed conflict. Basically, it conducts war, so you have to have laws on war. Refugee law, so you have to, there's laws on protecting people who are, running away from war, the refugees. Criminal law basically is you're like, if you commit a crime, if you're a U.S. citizen, you commit a crime in China, so there's the international criminal law will come into place. And then human rights law, right? Designed to promote human rights on social, regional, and domestic levels. Okay, so those are the branches of international law. World legal systems. What are the legal systems in the world? Civil law, common law, customary law, religious law, mixed law. Okay, guys. Very. This is important. This type of stuff is going to be on your quiz. Um, Civil law is the most widespread legal system in the world. Distinguishing feature of civil law system is that its legal authority is organized into written codes. The civil law system is derived from Roman law and is found in much of continental Europe, Central America, South America, and several other regions. Okay, so it's a system that its legal authority is organized into written codes. So this is stuff that's written down, right? So it's a civil law is written down from, and it derived from Roman law. So it's back from the Roman law. Common law rules developed over time by judges serves as legal precedent in the common law system. So basically, um, so the common law system is from the English common law and is found in many parts of English-speaking world, such as Australia, Canada, England, U.S., Wales, and other countries. So basically, common law is a newer type of law that that evolved over time. Then you have customary laws. So basically, it's a lot of laws in countries are made by customs, like we said, right? Like culture, based off customs and culture, right? So you'll see that mostly in Africa, Pacific Islands, and elsewhere. Okay, and then there's the religious system, which is the law is basically very, um, it's made by heavy influence by religion. Okay, so religion has a heavy influence on it. So countries like Saudi Arabia that have Sharia law, Muslim countries, right? Islamic law, right? You got the Jewish law, you got all that Christian law, you got stuff like that in different countries. And then you got the mixed law. So mixed law is basically a law that takes all those things, a little bit of everything, right? Now, what's the International Court of Justice? So the ICJ is the only international court that adjudicates general disputes between countries, with its ruling and opinion serving as primary sources of international law. Okay, so International Court of Justice basically is the court of the world. There's courts in different cities, different states, different provinces. This is the court of the entire world. Common law, statute law. Common law or case law is declared by judges. Statute law can be called by legislation. Okay, so legislation consists of statutes, acts, or delegated legislation, usually regulations. Okay, that's nothing too crazy. So guys, that's the end of the slides. There's going to be a video posted, and there's going to be a question posted, and you guys have to watch the video, answer the question, and then that is going to be that's going to go towards your attendance and participation marks. On top of that, we're going to be going live every day. We're going to be going live. Okay, so we're going to be going live before before you guys watch this anyway, so you'll know the whole spiel. You'll know everything that I'm talking about all the details about this class when we go live. Okay, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.